talk college football each and every day here at Mark Rogers TV, but we really zero in on Alabama football on Wednesday night in particular with Stephen M. Smith from Touchdown Alabama. So what you do is you join us live at approximately 6:30 Eastern time on my YouTube channel at Mark Rogers TV. But if you don't catch us live, the full conversation's available at YouTube as soon as it posts there at Mark Rogers TV. We also break down the individual segment topics. So if you just want to hear the discussion about, let's say, the Alabama running back position, we have those available in shorter segments. And if you don't want to see us, you just want to hear from us, that's okay too. We're available at Podbean and at iTunes at Mark Rogers TV. Just look up Alabama football right there. Stephen M. Smith breaking down the D-line for us, getting us set for the first week of August camp with, I couldn't believe it today, Stephen, when I looked it up and saw that Media Days is just around the corner. This used to be an end of July event. Now it's July 10th that the SEC convenes in Hoover.
I'm going to say this. They're trying to give us, a heart attack, trying to make it earlier to where it needs to be. But that's fine with me. It lets me know that the summer is progressing fine and we're just that much closer to getting some gridiron football back. I'm fine with it.
Well, I'm fine with the football. There's no question about that. But in terms of the summer being left, we just got started with the summer, and we're looking at Media Days already. And then me trying to cover all the 5 major conferences. Plus, I'm looking at Media Days for the next 3 weeks after that. Talking linebacker. Let's move you on to the linebacker, Stephen. Reuben Foster, we love his game, love his leadership on the field. Some of the issues off the field, I think, were a little bit overplayed, especially at the combine. Look at the linebacker position as we get set up for 2017 and how that sets up.
At the linebacker position, 2 of the main guys returning. We look at Sean Dion Hamilton and Rashaan Evans. Sean Dion Hamilton out of Montgomery, Alabama, Carver High School, going into his senior year. This was a young man that was starting to really flow and be an instinctive leader a season ago. 64 tackles on the team. Had a couple of interceptions, really felt bad when he got hurt toward the ACL against Florida in the SEC championship game. Was really having a good year prior to that point. But at that point, Rashaan Evans had to step in and play some snaps at inside backer. But both Sean Dion and Rashaan Evans will share that responsibility at inside linebacker from time to time. And at times, Rashaan will play more so that outside role. But those 2 guys are your main 2. After those 2 guys, you look at Mack Wilson, who can possibly start at a weak side linebacker position or a strong side spot in Alabama's base defense. Here's a guy that's an exact clone of Reuben Foster. When you talk about the thumping ability, make hard hits, of course, Speedy Noyle caught that firsthand in Alabama's matchup with Texas A&M as Wilson plows Speedy Noyle to the turf. And while he's getting a concussion examination, Speedy Noyle has a tooth missing. So that's how powerful Mack Wilson is when he goes at you laying a hit on people with the ball in question. Aside from Mack Wilson, we have Keith Holcomb, young man from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Hillcrest High School, going into his, I believe, redshirt senior year, if I am not mistaken, and somebody he's got experience but hasn't played much. He's dealt with some injuries. He's a 2-sport athlete playing both football and baseball, but I really want to get a chance to see more from Keith Holcomb next season. He kind of reminds you a lot of Benny Sunseri, the way Sunseri played in the secondary for Alabama, just a natural head hunter, a natural tackler, just a physical player. If he can just stay healthy, the sky is the limit for Keith Holcomb. And then you add in some guys like Anthony Jennings, Terrell Hall, Jamie Mosley, Christian Miller, and that edge rushing linebacker position. Also, Mekhi Brown. There is a fight for that jack linebacker role, and outside linebackers coach Tosh LaPoy knows it's a fight for that role. Christian Miller right now has the edge because of his quick twitching ability, but I would not sleep on Anthony Jennings. I wouldn't sleep on Terrell Hall. I definitely wouldn't sleep on C.J. Mosley's younger brother, Jamie Mosley, because he showed me a lot of things at Alabama spring game. So a fight there at an edge rushing, at an outside linebacker position. But as far as some of the freshmen that could make an impact at the spot, Mark, I love Dylan Moses. This kid, Dylan Moses, out of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, played at IMG Academy. Check the numbers. He's 6'5", 240. Good guy. 6'5", 240, roaming sideline to sideline. Defensive coordinator Jeremy Pruitt does it again with getting these physical specimens at linebacker that he expects to step in, come in, and immediately produce. But I think the linebackers at the leadership role, Sean Dion Hamilton, Rashaan Evans, and then after those two, just a litter of talent that can play and make an impact.
All right, folks, if you're going to check out the productivity of this linebacking core from 2016, past Rashaan Evans and Sean Dion Hamilton, you're not going to see a whole lot. As you mentioned, Stephen, Anthony Jennings got into the mix, had 19 total tackles. Dylan Moses is a 2017 signing that you're high on, number 2 rated outside linebacker in the country, 3rd rated prospect overall out of Florida. 2 things that stand out to me here is the inexperience. The talent is, of course, there. It's always there for Alabama at every position. But the issue is with inexperience. And also that what's a good thing is you've got a list of players, and almost all of them are capable of playing both inside and outside. It's a very versatile group. Guys can play multiple positions within the linebacking core.
Absolutely. And this is another thing. Saban loves to cross-train his guys. Because if you're not going to play inside linebacker, he's going to prepare you for outside linebacker. And it's his way of making you more marketable for the NFL. I got a chance to talk with Rashaan Evans during spring ball prior to the summer, and the conversation was on Ben Davis, one of the linebackers who came in with Mack Wilson. Remember, Ben Davis and Mack Wilson, best friends. They both came into that 2016 signing class together. Ben Davis out of Gordo High School in Gordo, Alabama, a couple of miles outside Tuscaloosa. Mack Wilson from the Montgomery, Alabama area. And Rashaan Evans told me the reason why Nick Saban cross-trains his linebackers and why this is good for Ben Davis is to make him not only more marketable for the NFL, but it broadens that versatility. So if somebody gets hurt, you instantly have somebody that knows something about that spot to come in, fill in that role, and have no drop-off. Saban cross-trains defensive linemen. He cross-trains linebackers. He cross-trains DBs into becoming receivers. He does this, and I know he's the mad scientist, and we wonder, why is he doing this? Why is he putting these players through this type of difficulty? He does this, Mark, so in case somebody gets hurt, he already has somebody with an idea of what to do. So that's why he does all of the cross-training that he does.
Mark Rogers TV, joined by Stephen M. Smith of Touchdown Alabama each and every Wednesday night. So if nothing else, we supply you with plenty of coverage of Alabama football each and every Wednesday night, but mostly throughout the week here on Mark Rogers TV. If you love college football, you got to subscribe to my YouTube channel at Mark Rogers TV. If you don't love college football, hey, I'll leave that up to you to make the call. But if you love college football, then you got to subscribe. You can also catch the entire audio conversation at Podbean and also at iTunes.